Bottom to the Top Hoops, what we like to do is we like to basically put you on to what's going on, creating highlight reels. What we are setting the platform up for kids that are not on the radar, where we can give them a look and get them a look, all right? And log on to that bottomtothetop.hoops.com.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy E. Jones, reporting live from North Babylon, New York, here with the trainer extraordinaire, said by me, not by you, my man Jerry Powell.
How you doing?
Not from North Babylon, from Harlem.
Yes.
Originally from Harlem. Obviously, our history goes back a long time from playing against each other, obviously having a friendship of many years. I know the story. The story's been told by many people. So I just want to be able to tell our viewers and people in the reach of this show, you know, kind of how it all started. So from what I know, you were born in Harlem.
Yes.
Right? How long did you live in Harlem?
I lived in Harlem until like 79, 80.
Okay.
And I was on, you know, my mom had me when she was young, and I was getting into a lot of trouble.
Right.
And stuff, so.
What part of Harlem?
I lived on, my parents lived on 19th Street in Lenox.
Okay, west side.
Yep, and you know, I went to a PS 144.
Okay.
And I went to 127. I don't know if they call 127 no more.
Okay.
100 and, I think I want to say right next door to Millbank.
Okay.
That grade school right next door to Millbank, and then PS 144 is on 122nd Street between Lenox and 7th.
Okay. So then you come out to Long Island.
Culture shock. Crazy culture shock.
Okay. So what was the first thing you thought when you got out to Long Island? It's like, all right, I'm from Harlem. You used to basketball courts outside, playing with your friends. You know, Icy Man coming out, hydrant, all of that stuff. Now what?
Silence. Like, that's not happening. You get on, in the suburbs it's different because everything is at home.
Right.
You ain't going to the park in Long Island. Not at a young age.
Right.
Because you got your basket on the block. Like in Long Island, you got like, on the block you have 7 hoops.
Okay.
In front of people's houses. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their own hoop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You have your own hoop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, when did you develop a love for basketball? When you figured, like, you know, this is something you wanted to do? Were you playing when you were in the city, or was it more when you came out to LA?
More when I came into Long Island, because what's good about the city is you can get into so many different things, bad and good.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I gravitated to sports because at that time, Long Island, to me, compared to Harlem, was so boring.
Okay.
So to make time go by fast, you had to be in an activity.
Okay. So you played, what other sports did you play?
I played baseball, basketball, Little League football.
So that's funny because now you see kids, and you know, basketball is a year-round sports because you can play indoors or outdoors. And if you want to be good, you got to train. But it just seems like more when we came up around our era, people played multiple sports. Right. And then as you got older, you kind of gravitated to the ones that you were better at.
Right.
So at what point did you figure out, and you were living in Lyndhurst,
yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you figure out, like, you know what, I'm gonna take this basketball thing seriously?
8th grade, and I'm you know, I never really thought I was good at basketball coming from, because I've seen, you know, live in the block like Harlem. You know, I had David Kane who lived on my block. You know what I mean? I had Charnel Scott that lived on my block. So, I mean, and Lamont Middleton, those guys. So them guys was like
gods back then.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, and I don't know if you know a kid named Darryl Parson. You know
Me and D. Parsons went to high school together in 1991.
But he was tough.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Like,
he probably was one of the best 13 or 14-years in the country.
Yes,
Super finger roll.
I used to like when I used to play against him. I used to be like, you know what, man, I gotta be this good. I don't want to play.
Right. D. Parsons,
he was ahead. He was ahead of
everybody.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
People don't even. How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's doing well. I just saw him in an alumni game a couple of years ago. He can still play. He's in good shape. He's got a son that plays basketball. He was living in Atlanta, but he's living back in New York now. He's doing well.
That guy's a scoring machine.
Yes, and he can still score.
Wow.
But So you're in 8th grade. You're like, okay, I'm gonna play hoops now, right? So were you playing on a team? Was it more school?
Wasn't I made the junior high team, which I was shocked because I was like, all right, I made the junior high team, and I was like, whoa, this is not bad. But I wasn't good. I was a good athlete.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, you always a hard worker, because that's what I remember when we played against each other.
Yeah. I didn't understand the game. I just knew, okay, I'm on defense, I'm going to steal the ball, I'm going to try to steal the ball, play the passing lanes. Really couldn't finish.
Right.
Really couldn't. It wasn't until I fell in love with basketball when I went to 9th grade year, when I went to Providence basketball camp.
Oh, wow.
That was 1985. That was the year Providence went to the Final Four. That's like 3 Big East teams made it to the Final Four that year. I think St. John's was in it, Georgetown was in it, and Providence was in the Final Four that year.
Billy Donovan.
Yeah, and that's when I saw a workout. Because one time we was sitting down, it was lecture time.
All right.
And Rick Pitino said, he was calling up kids, how do you work out? And I'm like, okay. So I'm paying attention, like in tune, and one kid got up and just shot around and jogged, and I think Rick got mad at the kid. He said, sit down. He said, Billy, I'm gonna introduce you kids to somebody. Billy Donovan, step up. Billy Donovan did an individual workout that I memorized and took it back home with me. And I did that workout ever since. Wow. I thought his in and out cross was retarded, and I seen him play before that because he's a Long Island guy. I seen my best friend Sean Ramos played against him at the Rockville Center tournament. That was like one of the best tournaments on Long Island at that time, because St. Agnes was the best high school to go to.
Okay.
At that time, St. Agnes had Billy Donovan, A.J. Widener. They had a crew. Bernard Woodside. They had a crew. So I used to be like, whoa, you know what I mean? I was like, wow, these guys are really good. And I was intrigued with Bobby because I never seen a white guy can handle it like that.
Right. Billy Donovan was tough.
And he was really tough. And he didn't even look the part. He looked it like I'm like, man, this guy can't play. And then when you get on that court,
he was stuck. So fast forward, you go to high school. You start your playing career. Did you play at Lyndhurst?
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't really good, and I didn't start getting good until my 11th grade year. Good meaning understanding the game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As opposed to just playing, understanding the game.
You still was counting on your athleticism.
Yeah, it's just not knowing the IQ part. And then that's when I started reading books, watching film. And that's how, because I was determined to get better.
Would you consider yourself a student of the game?
Big time. Over exaggerated. To this day. This, I don't do nothing. I don't watch TV. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I don't know none of that. I don't even know. I'm so in tune with basketball that I pretty much forgot about life because basketball has been so good to me. So I feel like I owe it to basketball.
Right, and we've had many conversations, right, about life, about basketball, about what it means to us, about how we want to give back and what we want to do for the game. So now you go on and you get a chance to play in college, right?
Yeah.
Now Southern Connecticut.
Yes.
Right. Did you play 4 years there?
Yes.
What was that like at Southern Connecticut?
You gotta fight because what happens is I was always an underdog. I always had to prove myself. So what I would do was, I would stay in the gym. Now, nowadays, you could give a kid something. You could tell a kid he's starting. I had to fight for everything I got. You know what I mean? Minutes. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
stay on the team.
Stay on the team. And I did what I only knew because I've been using this gym that we're talking in since I was in the 9th grade. So when I came, I would always work out. I would hide it from people. So I wanted people to think I was naturally talented when I wasn't. When I was putting in the work in while everybody was going to parties and beaches, I was putting the work in. And I used to work with a guy named, God bless his dad, Mr. Nick. He's a genius. He's an incredible trainer.
So you played at Southern Connecticut, you played 4 years, you have your success there. Now the transition comes and life happens for
Right.
all of us, right?
Right.
We want to play basketball, and that's when we met.
Right.
Playing in Long Island in the leagues and all of that stuff. And the one thing that stood out to me was like, man, I consider myself a good offensive player. Now, I remember specifically, like, I'm not going to play with the ball around this dude because defensively, you were tenacious. And I remember, like, you didn't stop. So if somebody shook you or made a good move, your recovery time was like, you still going to contest the shot. Right. So I had to figure out, like, all right, playing against this guy, and you know, it was pretty much my team and your team competing for the championship. Like, I got to be efficient.
Right.
I got to make one move and get it up, whatever the case may be. So now, after you finish your college career, what's next?
Well, the people I stayed with made me go get the chief while I was in school. Mm-hmm. So I would go get the chief. And the chief is a paper, if people don't know what the chief is, with all the civil service jobs. Mm. So, you know what I mean? And I took a test, I took the sanitation test, mm-hmm. and they called me back, mm-hmm. and I started working sanitation. And
in Long Island?
No, I started in Long Island, and then I transferred to the city. So the city was like...
And you were commuting?
Yeah, commuting. So the city was like the big money, like, cause I never knew garbage men made. I'd be like a garbage man. People be like, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, man, I ain't doing no.
So look, you know, I'm again. We always talk about the show teaching, right? Uh-huh. Nobody knows Jerry Powell, the great Jerry Powell, was working sanitation. So when you say, but look,
right.
At the end of the day, you don't get it by just showing up.
Right.
You gotta go through some stuff.
No question.
So you going back and forth?
I'm going back and forth. So I'm on, and I'm playing because the working garbage truck keep you in tip-top shape. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're very strong because you're picking up different garbages mm-hmm. every day, and it's a different type of strength that you have. Mm-hmm. So one day I see this karate school. I'm eating lunch. I think I was on 61st Street, because those are one of my streets. I was a street sweeper.
Right.
I'll go in and out the streets, and I'm watching the karate, and I'm like, oh, what if I do that for training, for basketball?
Now, had you trained already, or had you been trained?
I've been working out all my life.
I mean, were you training anybody else?
I would do it. I would put people do drills.
Okay.
And they would look at me like,
formally.
Yeah, they would look at me like, where do you know all this stuff from? And it was just stuff that I would Mr. Nick,
Billy Donovan,
and I would all put it together.
And this stuff you created on your own.
And then when I first started the training thing, the only person I will give credit to, when I first started training, the only person I knew that was doing it before me, but I don't know if he was doing it for business, is Vincent Smith. I gotta give him credit. You know what I mean? So I can't.
Well, we've talked about him many times on the show, and we know his work and the people that he's affected. Lois Battalion Hall, Aim High, Vincent Smith, big shout out to him.
Yes.
So we'll get Vincent on the show. This is your show right now. Right? Yeah. So now, with that being said, you saw the karate school.
And I said right away, yo, I could do this for training. So what I started doing, I went home and I thought of a name, and I said, well, what can I name it? And I said, Basketball Academy. I go, that's not good. And then I said, it's gotta be something powerful. It's gotta, because I wanted to impact lives. You know what I mean?
Bigger than basketball, because it impacted yours.
Right, when I'm training, it's not about me. When you train, it has to be about the people you're working with, because I'm doing it to change lives, not to be popular. Mm-hmm. If the popularity comes with it, okay, great. But that's not it, because what people don't know about Jerry Powell is I'm very shy. Just because you see me yelling in the annex and stuff like that, that's my comfort zone. So I was like saying, you know what? I want to name it Basketball Results. I want to put the pressure on me, not so much the player. So now you can't say, if you're going to say results, you got to say, hey, you got to say, yo.
You got to
produce. You got to produce.
Yeah.
So now I wanted to put the pressure on me.
So you stopped working sanitation, or you doing both?
I'm doing both because I need the money to buy the gun. I need the money I was using the money
to build it.
To build the business.
How long did you work sanitation?
12 years.
Wow. 12 years.
Yeah.
You doing, so how many years are you training and doing sanitation?
Yeah.
The whole time?
I did training and
When did you start the training program?
I started basketball results in '98.
When did you start sanitation?
I was on sanitation since like.
So when
Since
we
I
were playing
graduated
against
college.
each other, you was working sanitation?
Yes, so since like '93, '92.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And when did you stop? So 93, 92, so you stopped?
I stopped when I'm not sure, but I stopped when basketball results took on a life of its own.
So check this out. Let's go back to the story that we both know, right? I get the job as the player coach of the Harlem Wizards.
Right.
First person I call is who?
Me.
I call you up, yo Jerry, I got the job, man. I'm just leaving the Globetrotters. I want to do this right. We get on the phone, yo E, I got you.
Man.
So a day that's obviously etched in everybody's memory. I call you in the morning, yo, he's like, I got you, I'm on my way. Because you know how I am with timeliness, right? Everything gotta be.
Yeah, I was on time.
Yeah.
It's just that the
man,
World Trade Center stopped us.
So September 11th, 2001, you were on the way to be the trainer for my first Harlem Wizards training camp, because what I saw you doing and what I knew of you as a person in our relationship, I'm like, I need to set the tone for how I'm gonna do things, right?
Right.
And fast forward, obviously September 11th happened and we weren't able to get there and all of that stuff, but it kind of like, you know, life happens the way it's supposed to. And you know, we've worked together. You came and helped me out with the thing I did in the Bronx at St. Raymond's, and we always kept in contact. So your business takes off.
Right.
You're working with kids, and I know you're working with Mike James.
Yeah, he's a childhood friend of mine. You know, he's a little younger than me, but I kind of like introduced him to working out.
Okay.
Because back then when I first started the business, working out was foreign to people. They were like, "What do you mean? What type of training you are? You tape ankles?" So people, you know, that's what people would say to me. I'm being honest with you. People, It was foreign. People would come and they'd be like, "Yo, I didn't know it was like this." People had their comments, and then when they see it, they're like, "Whoa, I didn't know. It's game situations, game stuff that you can use in the game."
So Mike James, he makes it to the NBA. Was he your first guy that you trained that made it to the league?
Yes.
What was that feeling like when you saw him playing the NBA game and knowing that you helped him get there?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. And it was almost like...
Was it validation?
Yeah, but it wasn't valid. It wasn't fully validation, because I don't think to this day he embraced it like that.
Okay.
He pretty much said it. He pretty much said, like, you know how you are when people say, you know, when people are broke and they say when they get some money they're gonna do this and that, and then they get the money and their whole mind changes. Similar to that.
Okay, so we're gonna leave that there.
Yes.
So that being said, you now catapult to the point where do you start training college guys, high school guys? How does it evolve into training multiple professionals? And we'll get into the people that you train just to, you know, just kind of further the credibility. But how does that evolve when you start training higher level guys?
You know, what you got to do when you're training, what you have to do is you got to get people better.
Stop for 1 second. We're now giving trainers the training game.
Right.
So I believe that the responsibility of people who make it is to reach back and be able to share information to get the younger generation of people who are serious, who are dedicated on how to get yourself to the next level. So now you were saying, I'm sorry.
It's just you got to get people better, and then not only that, like doing with pros. Like if you, I think the biggest misconception with people in the neighborhood that know pros, and what scares pros the most, and I could tell by the history. When I work out a guy, like let's say Mike James, I think when they make it, they think you want them to take care of them. I don't want you to take care of me. just pay me for my services. Because when you didn't have it, it was there for you. Now that you have it, here, Jerry, even if it's $500, reach back and be like, here, Jerry, this is for when you train me. I think to not give nothing is not good, because my mom told me, I'll never forget this. When I was little, we went to the Central Park Zoo, and back then the zoo was 10 cents. And my mom always gave.
Right.
I get that from my mom. I'm a very giving person. You know what I mean? You come to my house, you see something you like, I'll give it to you. Take it. No big deal. My mom told me something that stuck with me the whole time. My cousin wanted some of my hot peanuts. Peanuts was bad.
Right.
I did not want to give him none. Like, no, come on, man. You're not giving none. And my mom snatched my peanuts and gave him some. So me being me, I was upset. She said, God cannot put nothing in your hand if it's always closed. And I was like, what are you talking about? So she broke it down to me when we got on the train. She's like, you gotta open up your hand to give somebody something, and you gotta open your hand up to receive. If it's always closed, how are you gonna get something to receive? And then ever since then, that changed I stopped being stingy from that day on.
We not only teach you basketball, we teach you life lessons.
Yeah.
I just learned something, and I appreciate that. So now your hands are literally open to receive all these blessings that you get. So now you start training pro athletes. Do you feel the challenge is different, or you just learning more? Are you going deeper into it, or do you feel like more responsibility, more pressure? What is your mindset now?
Before we start going any further, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I strongly believe this. I'm gifted at training. Training is my gift, because I know it's my gift because in the Bible they say your gift will make room for you. I got no business working out. I had no business working out. KD, LeBron James, Paul George. You know what I mean? Rondo. I'm just a guy, who, doing God's work through the game of basketball. So me personally, I'm gifted. You know what I mean? Because it's impossible for a man to do something and get the same results over and over. That's not you. That's God.